what up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is your main man, Juggernaut, the multi-platinum production team.
Arkatech Beatz.
Welcome to the music review live stream series. We are doing music reviews. We're multi-platinum producers. We're producers for your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, Big Pun Nas, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, Raekwon the Chef, Jadakiss the Game, Freddie Gibbs, Killer Mike, Max B, Wiz Khalifa, French Montana, so many others. Coke Wave 3.5 out now with production featuring us. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live. If it's your first time here, make sure that you're commenting, and subscribing. Make sure you're liking the live, hitting the algorithm. And, you know, every night we get on here. We've been getting on for a couple of weeks now, and we've been just helping folks just kind of, you know, get their music a little bit up to speed. And at the same time, we're looking for new artists to try to collab with, as well as try to see what we're, you know, just try to see new producers, new artists, etc. If you're a producer looking to learn the music business, make sure you're jumping into our Future Producer Society, right? School.com, Future Producer Society. Make sure you jump into that. That's where we're teaching people the music business so that you can learn it. Shout out to Max B, $1 Million Baby 4 coming soon. With production featuring us again. You know what I'm saying? We produce half that album coming up. So again, you know, we're doing real things real time. So just so that you know that it's not cap. Everything is here. It's real, documented. It's out here. It's out in the world. Let's go. If you got music that you're trying to submit, the link is on the screen. We have a total of about 537 submissions since we started this series. You know, we get on for about an hour. We do what we can in terms of trying to listen to what we can. We are actively working in the business, man. So, you know, we only have a certain amount of time to be live to, you know, listen to joints. So if you're trying to get your joints in, make sure you're hitting that link that I'm putting into the description and the link that's into the chat that I just put in just now. Make sure y'all checking that out. We're just waiting for some folks to jump into the live for the algorithm. Folks get into the live for the algorithm. We'll get started in about 5 minutes. We're gonna submit your songs now is the time. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live, man. I see you. And we're streaming on all platforms. That screen, man, get the lights on. We're about to get started in just a few minutes. If you got music, make sure you're submitting. We're listening to everything, beats, songs, all genres. My music to stop. Yeah, to the link on the screen. Master God. Sharing the live, liking the live. All good. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. We about to jump into our first super skip. This Fine Love is from last night. This person, they did a super skip. Like I said, we currently have 537 total submissions. So, folks are looking to, get their joints listened to. I'm only going to be on for about an hour. Like I said, we're currently working on Max B stuff. So.
Yeah. Spazzing out in traffic, cut the track.
Let me introduce this the right way. This song is called Back Then, right? Back Then by Babyface Nah. So he just wanted to know my thoughts on this record. So he submitted it as a super skip. We're going to take a listen to it. It's a SoundCloud link. Make sure you
Spazzing out in traffic, cut the track, starting to fuck up. First thing that I noticed was her ex. Yeah, I love this music shit, but I done lost the passion. Okay, now I'm back in. The police cornered us and we was backed in. I put the whip in driving, bet the corner slid the back end. I lost a lot of loved ones to the jealousy, and back then was quick to cut them off, so if they exit can't get back in my life. Me and her, we used to fuck after a fight, hate each other for the night, then fall in love before it's light, but it's alright. I ain't seen her in a minute, stay away from out my sight. Drink over the hangover to make it through the night. They don't know the truth. I bought Ableton, I got sick of the booth. I've been doing it so long, it ain't no room left to improve. And this a private conversation, you get boomed if you intrude. And this a V10, I cannot pretend that we ain't beefing, can't be friends. You ain't up in that water, up out the deep end. I regen, I power through it all, and it's a long weekend. I cannot help the cause because the last one left me see then. I know the truth, I seen a different angle. You approached me as an angel, but on the exit, turned the tables. Train my ears so I can hear the difference from story to a fable. You know I'm able to make you trust me with your brakes and cut the cables. I cut the brake lines. You packaged up a lie, shipped it down the grapevine. I never needed time, but I'ma take mine. All original, never had to fake mine. But all this shit's whatever, bitch, I'm coming back and better. I still got vendettas, ain't forgot none. You posing with a gun but never shot one. That ain't yours, you never bought one. Moving up, I got some other options. I need more, I'm never satisfied with less, so I ain't stopping, I'm on one. Yeah, spazzing out in traffic, cut the track, starting to fuck up. First thing that I noticed was her ex. Yeah, I love this music shit, but I done lost the passion. Okay, now I'm back in. The police cornered us and we was backed in. I put the whip in driving, bet the corner slid the back end. I lost a lot of loved ones to the jealousy, and back then was quick to cut them off, so if they exit can't get back in my life. Me and her, we used to fuck after a fight, hate each other for the night, then fall in love before it's light, but it's alright. I ain't seen her in a minute.
Alright, so I'm listening to this joint, man. This joint is called Back Then, man, by Babyface Nah. And it seems like that first part of the record is supposed to be the hook, 'cause that's what the name of the song is called, Back Then. But it doesn't seem to have like a really good hook structure to me. Shout out to him for submitting this record. Like, it just needs to seem like it doesn't seem like it has a hook cadence that can be repeatable, right? So you need to make sure that if you're creating a record like this, that we have a record that has it has to have something that's going to be repeatable. Like, so if he's gonna say something, it should be a four bar hook that repeats twice to make it 8. And if we need to have the title of the song in it so that it's Back Then. So say, for example, if we're listening to this record, he could
stay away from out my sight. Drink cornered us and we was backed in. I put the okay, now I'm back in. The police cornered us and we was backed in. I put the whip in driving, bet the corner slid the back end. I lost a lot of loved ones to the jealousy, and back then was quick to cut them off, so if they exit can't get back in my life.
Right there, and then repeat that part right again. So like he has that 4 bars, repeat it again. Doesn't make any point to keep going and keep making another 4 bars with the Back Then again. He already has something that can be used pretty slick. Take that, use that as the part of the hook, and then you take that, you run it, and then what I noticed is that there's no hook in the rest of the song. So the hook only seems to play once. The song is less than 2 minutes, right? And with stuff like this, there's really no way for you to get any real good replay value off this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Also, I feel like you might be a step behind the beat a little bit on the rap. The beat is fire.
Life, me and her, we used to fuck after a fight, hate each other for the night.
Like the music is slightly loud in terms of your mix, but for the most part, the music is pretty decent. But it's like you might be like a little bit behind on the like.
To fall in love before it's light, but it's alright. I ain't seen her in a minute. Stay away from out my sight. Drink over the hangover to make it through the night. They don't know the truth.
Right. So what's happening is that it might be because you might have a little bit too many words going on. So it's kind of putting you a little bit behind the beat a little bit more than it should be. Richie Stone Cold, what up? So it's like you're going, but it's kind of like. It's not necessarily like where it really needs to be in terms of making sure that you have the actually right rap cadence and that you're actually on the beat with this.
Truth. I bought Ableton, I got sick of the booth. I've been doing it so long, it ain't no room left to improve. And this a private conversation, you get boomed if you intrude. And this a V10, I cannot pretend that we ain't beefing, can't be friends. You ain't up in that water, up out the deep end. I regen.
And look, the rhyme is pretty good, man. It's just we just got to get it like really in pocket.
I powered through it all and it's a long weekend. I cannot help your cause because the last one let me see then. I know the truth, I seen a different angle. You approached me as an angel, but on the exit, turned the tables. Train my ears so I can hear the difference from story to a fable. You know I'm able to make you trust me with your brakes and cut the cables. I cut the brake lines, you packaged up a lie, shipped it down the grapevine. I never needed time, but I'ma take mine. All original, never had to fake mine. But all this shit's whatever, bitch, I'm coming back and better.
So I was expecting the hook to come back in and it never comes back in. Right, so that's part of my issue with this. So remember what we're doing here. We're not creating the records that, we have to have the records that have these hooks, man. So, if you're not going to start the record off with the hook, we should at least have the hook in the middle and at the end. I don't think there should ever be a situation where we only have the hook that plays one time in the beginning of the record and doesn't play again. Let me repeat that because I probably said it fast. I don't think there should be an instance where you should have a record that has a hook that only plays once and doesn't play throughout the record again. Like, you know what I'm saying? At this point, it's not really a record if it's not structured this way. That's more like an interlude or something like that. And honestly, those type of songs are going to be wasted in the streaming era. If I'm being quite frank with you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna wind up wasting your space on the streaming era with those type of records, man. That don't have the right structure for replay value. Like this is what we need them for. We need it for that. But shout out to Babyface Nah, man, for submitting this, man. This was called Back Then. Appreciate you sending it in. Make sure you just jump on that thing for me, man, and see if we can get this hooked where it needs to be. And see how we can get this song to kind of get a little bit more up to speed, man. Like it's really kind of right there. You just kind of have to just add a few tweaks to it, like I said. But getting that hook to repeat for the 2 times, and then having that hook, having those 4 bars turn into an 8-bar hook, and then having a hook repeat more than once. It's a song. I think you should be okay if you do that. But outside of that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty much where I'm at with it. But I'm gonna jump into this next joint. What is this? Clyde Code Music. Fine by Me. Where the whole world is on your shoulders. All right, we're gonna listen to it. Let's see what it sounds like.
All eyes on me. That's fine by me. All eyes on me. And that's fine by me. eyes on me. That's fine by me. All eyes on me.
Imagine. I want you guys to imagine a world. That song is called "Fine by Me" by Clyde Code, right? Or Cycle Code. Yeah, Cycle Code. All right. So look, imagine a world where you are a producer. Imagine a world where you're a producer, you're an artist, and you make a song that has all the elements of a hit record, but you arrange it wrong. Imagine that. Imagine you have all of the elements of a hit dance record, and you just arrange it wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that I think this is probably, one of those areas where you just have a record that has all of the right elements, right? You imagine you've done all of that programming. You've done all that programming. Like you said, you got the arpeggiator going crazy. Yeah, you got the drums going crazy. You got it mixed the way it needs to be mixed. It's it has the appropriate drops. It has the appropriate everything where it needs to, everything there. But it's just it doesn't give it enough chance to fall into a groove. If it just kind of just feels like a mashup. You know what I'm saying? Where it could be, if we structure it properly, this thing could have really, really been like a real smash. You could take something like this and run it to Justin Bieber.
And that's fine by me.
What up?
And that's fine by me.
Now this part to be the hook. Boy Swagger, what up?
All eyes on me. And that's fine by me.
When this part comes in, it's so crazy.
All eyes on me.
It's
fine by
me.
All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. And that's fine by me.
I like the listen, man. I like the way this is I like the production of this. Like this is like, this is like a producer's like, you know what I mean? Like this is like, yo, like do you hear this? Like you actually program all this shit? Like this is like great, you know what I mean, in terms of its production, you know what I mean? I just would like it to fly. I would like it to have more of a structured groove, you know what I mean? Hold on a second. Can you guys hear me on YouTube, or you can't hear the music? It's definitely has the potential here, man. I'd like to hear some more music from it. You know, I would just like to you know, for it to be mapped out in a pop kind of way. You know what I mean? And that's just my way my brain works. Because, you know, I just think of like David Guetta. I think of that, and I think of like how he structured his joints. And then when he got records that he did with like with Bieber and these guys, like how those were kind of feeling in terms of a, you know, a dance vibe, a world vibe like that. And those things would follow a certain kind of a format. They just don't kind of just keep going in different ways, like, you know what I mean? Now, granted, that's just the way that my brain is registering it, you know what I mean? Now, granted, if you're just a DJ, it might be able to go with the club, and the club might like it the way that it's going. I just feel like it just needs to be able to come back to a certain part where it just grinds, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be that main part where it was going. He said he started making music about a month ago and just now realized share the same screen name as a band in Norway, similar genre. To be honest, if you just started, you should change it. Yeah, if you just started, you should change it. And I know people will say, you know, because what will happen is, like, you know, in the case of a dispute, right? A lot of times they're going to go to who used it first. You know what I'm saying? If they've released music under that moniker already, then it puts you at a disadvantage. Now, granted, you can find ways to go and circumvent it. You know what I'm saying? Which would be kind of unscrupulous. You know what I mean? I don't want to recommend, you know, those kind of things. Yeah, and what I would always suggest is like this, man. Before you actually like land on a name, you got to do a hardcore Google search. You do a hardcore Google search. That's probably the first thing, and you want to look for that. Then you want to do a domain look for, right? You want to look up for the domain. If it's like Arkatech Beatz, you know, what's the domain? Is the domain taken? Then you want to go on the socials. You want to see if the socials are taken, because you want everything to be the same across the board. You know what I'm saying? So you have to find a name that's not long, that's not too long, that you can use as a username across all platforms, that all remain the same. You know what I'm saying? No underscores, none of that kind of good stuff. You want all of that stuff to remain the same. But you have to do your due diligence in making sure that these records or these things are not being put out, or music isn't being put out under, you know, somebody else using your name. So how difficult is it to change names? It's not difficult at all. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize that if you just started, nobody knows anything. You know, you just create a new social, create a new Gmail, and that's it. Yeah, just make a new profile and change the usernames. Most times you can go into socials, you can change the username maybe once. For most socials. I know TikTok, you can change it maybe once. Facebook might allow you to do it once. You know what I'm saying? Certain places you have to stick to it. But my recommendation is you create your email. You create your email that will be associated with that name. Just go open a new Gmail. Create a Gmail. I use Gmail, so create a Gmail that's associated with that name. It doesn't have to be the same for security reasons, but you create something that's associated with that, and then you use that for your socials, and make sure that you have a place to keep all your passwords, because you're going to have to do all of these socials across the board. You said you got 157 monthly listeners. I mean, it's a start, brother. But you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, what'll probably wind up happening if you keep continuing to build that name under, you're gonna probably wind up sharing that audience with homie over time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to be fighting for that. You're gonna have to be fighting for that after a while. There were a few people that we had to we had to send them trademark things to them because they were running around using the Arkatech. You know what I'm saying? And we're old, so we've always used the name. Our first moniker was Infinite Architects, and it was always spelled the same, the Arkatech. You know what I'm saying? So it was always spelled that way. So you got people that come behind you and then try to use it, and then try to, well, I use it like Architect Music, or I don't use it like this. You know what I'm saying? So then once we had put the trademark in, then it was kind of like, nah, y'all got to step back. You know what I'm saying? So like, step back from it, like, you know what I mean? Because people were then trying to use our name and then trying to, connect to some of the artists that we were working with. Yeah, I would tell you, listen, if you're early in, man, you could change it, man, without any hardcore, like, backlash. You know what I'm saying? You're early in, man. So like, you're in a place where you can make those changes and nobody will really be the wiser, to be quite honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're early in. It's not like we're 100,000 people in, or even 10,000 people in, where now you have a name like that. You know what I'm saying? If you're just a few dozen in, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't really worry about it like that. Just got to make the change to keep it pushing. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live, man. It's a lazy Sunday today, man. I feel a little under the weather. I'm just trying to push through for a little bit longer before I kind of jump off the, Shout out to all my brothers, Cass, Swag. What's up with y'all, man? Richie, what's up with y'all? Hope y'all all right. Amazing King, what's up? This joint is called Garden.
Мое тело бродит вдоль мыслей и страх. Электроник хватает. Чувствую, насколько можем мы тонк. Мои чувства тонкие, они скучают.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Boy Swagger, he said he went live. I just read something that said you went live for the first time. You said you did a test run. Tell us how that was, man. Give us the that's a small win, man. If you went live for the first time, man, give us that feedback in the portal, man. Tell me what that was like. Tell the people what that felt like going live, and tell the folks what you expected versus what you saw happen, and how you can get better, or what you felt about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, like, this is the type of stuff that I want to be highlighted. I want people to talk about these first, you know what I mean? These first times trying to do this thing. This thing it's not easy, man. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on your personality. If your personality is like mine, which is, I'm not really like that I'm not that bubbly, outgoing guy. You know what I'm saying? So if you're like me, this is extremely difficult. You know what I mean? Let me tell you what really had to break the mold for me on this whole thing. Because if you go back and you look through history, and you look through all of my photographs and everything, you'll always see me with a mean mug. I can show you stuff of me as a teenager, mean mugging. I've always mean mugged. I never really talk a lot, never really was a talker like that. Unless I'm really interested in something, then I'll talk about it. But for I'm not a small talk type of guy. I'm not really into that type of bullshit. I'm not into all the fluff. I'm not into all of that. You know what I'm saying? Hence the reason why, Mike handled a lot of the relations personally with the business. You know what I'm saying? In the business, Mike tend to handle all of the politics. He was better with it at the time than I was. And I just, I have to relent to that. But let me tell you, when we running around with Sean, right? Shout out to my brother Sean Anthony Baker. He's up for the Ace Honors tonight. You know, she come out for the win, Best Supporting Actor. Let's see if he comes out with it. I think he should get that. Give me back my daughter. Shout out to my brother. But let me tell you, I running around with Sean and these guys. When I was running around with him, every time we went somewhere, that brother would get something for free. He would be able to go places. He'd be able to light up a room, and he'd be able to get stuff for free all the time. Somebody would always hook him up with something, like all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you would see that, and yeah, you would see that, and it would be one of those things where you would see that brother get something for free, and it would be like, yo, like, how come, you know, people are always hooking him up? You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, I started saying to myself, I said, you know, I said, self, I said, I can't be this guy that's running around here and not being able to, like, use my personality to really make things happen. You know what I'm saying? So what I start doing, I start talking, start using that gift of gab, you know, and then you start getting stuff free too. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to crack a smile at the right time. You got to be able to, you know, do, you know, make the thing do what it needs to do. You know what I mean? But in any event, all of a sudden, I do not feel good. Nerve-wrenching. Hardest part was getting through the setup. Yeah, using your phone is always tough, man. You know what I'm saying? But stick to it, brother. Folks, I gotta jump off of this live. I'm not feeling too hot. So, if anything, I'm gonna catch with everybody on the next one. I'm gonna jump off this live, man, because all of a sudden just feel really weird. But shout out to y'all, man. I'm gonna catch y'all on this next one. Hopefully, you know, I feel a little bit better. You know, I don't want to be on camera going crazy. You know what I'm saying? You be on the camera, something crazy happen, you be looking crazy. Turn it to a meme on the internet. But I'm gonna holler at y'all. If anything, y'all be safe. And I catch